up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. In today's video we are adding some new fish to the monster fish mega tank, which I'm super excited about. Now we've had the current stingrays and arowana in this aquarium for, I think it's been about 5 weeks now, something like that. And I'm adding today 2 new fish. Now they are just over there, so it's time to get them acclimated. They have been in the bag for a couple of hours now, so I really want to get speed through and sort of get them into the tank to acclimate. Then we can release them, check them out, and talk a little bit more about it. So let's get them in the tank and let's start acclimating them. So here we have the fish in question. They're just in this bucket, both looking really good. I'm going to lift them up now, sit them into the aquarium to acclimate, and then I can check them with the temp gun. So let's get them out of this bucket and let's put them into the aquarium. Now you probably can't really see the fish in the bag, but we have 2 black diamond crossed P14 stingrays. So they're slightly different to the black diamond stingray that we currently have. These guys have a lot smaller dots and the 2 are slightly different. Now they have a sort of black background and a brownish hue, but as they get older and get larger, that coloration should change from a sort of brown to that sort of white yellowish sort of look. I did have a good look at the parents. Now I did take some videos on my phone. I will try to put them across the video to show you just what environment these guys came from, because they came from an absolutely amazing pond, an absolutely awesome system. Now, obviously, if you guys are following me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you would have seen these videos already of this amazing system. But I'm going to let these guys acclimate probably for around 20-30 minutes. The tank is about 26.5 degrees and they came from 27 degrees. So they should be fairly consistent in temperature. I will get the temp gun, check them, but let's let them acclimate for a little bit. Then we can release them into the tank, check them out and talk a little bit more about them. Now, these stingrays have been acclimating for around 20 to 25 minutes and I've checked them with my temperature gun, and the temperature is the same as the tank than it is in the bag. So it's time to let the new P14 crossed black diamond stingray hybrids into the monster fish mega tank. Now I'm super excited about these. I wasn't planning on adding any new fish just yet. I did want to give it a couple of months, but these actually came from a private sale and the price was so good that I just couldn't say no. Now, I'm really looking forward to watching these develop, and it's nice to have some that are slightly different from the other stingrays that we have in the aquarium. Now, what I'm going to do is, because these guys are quite small, I'm going to use my round net that isn't too deep. I'm going to get them out of the bag and just place them into the tank. I'm not going to release any of this tank or this bag water into the aquarium itself. So I'll bring you guys a bit closer and let's release these guys into their new home. And now it is the next day. The new stingrays have settled in really well, and it's time to get some close-up shots of them and maybe even give them some food. Now, before you start commenting saying, wow, you've got 5 stingrays in this aquarium, do you realise how big they're going to get? Yes, I know how big these guys are going to get. And that is why I selected only males for this aquarium. I do not want them breeding. The females get way too big and it would be cruel to keep them in an aquarium this size. Now, there are a lot of, or quite a few big boulders in this tank, and I can actually remove them because there's only 3 of them that are actually structural. So I've got at least 4 boulders that can be removed to create more space for the fish as they grow and as they do get older. Now, these guys have plenty of room at the moment, but I'm assuming probably in the next 12 months, some of those boulders are going to start coming out just to give them a little bit more floor space. Now, obviously, the tank doesn't look very aesthetic as a sort of as a tank for social media, but I absolutely enjoy it and I'm really passionate about it, and I absolutely love watching these rays. And I'm sure as they get older, as they get bigger, the videos are going to look a bit better and they're going to look a bit better for you guys at home. But the most important thing is for them to be happy, healthy, and for me to enjoy them, as it is my hobby at the end of the day and I'm just sharing my experiences with you guys at home. So as I said, we have the P14 Cross Black Diamond Stingrays. They are slightly different and they do have different markings to my standard Black Diamond Stingray. So it's going to be interesting to watch them develop and to watch them grow. Now they do have slightly different coloration, which I believe is going to change and develop as they get older. And it's going to be interesting to compare the different spots of these fish as they grow and get bigger. Let's head around the side of the aquarium and let's take a close look at them and talk about them in a little bit more detail. Now here we are on the other side of the aquarium. It might be quite tricky for you guys to see the rays, but we've got the mini marble Matoro down here and we've got our new P14 Black Diamond Hybrid here, and there is another one probably just out of shot down there, but they've settled in really well, and in just a moment I'm going to give them their first feed. Now these are male rays, as I've already mentioned. The females can get really large. They can easily attain 24 inches across, which is absolutely ginormous. But the males, I would say, looking at them, once they've sort of reached 3 to 4 years old, they're going to be hitting that potentially 16 to 18 inch mark. They may get up to 20 inches, but that's a long distance away. That is quite a far distance in the future, and who knows if I'm still in this property at that time, and I may even have a much bigger tank. So really, I'm just going to enjoy these fish, make sure they're happy, healthy, make sure they've got the correct environment. Now the albino pearl stingray has definitely put some growth on and is looking really good. His colors are really starting to come out. Now you may also notice we have some green algae growing on the wood, and at first I wanted to start removing this, but it's actually really grown on me, if you pardon the pun. And I actually really like this natural look it brings. The sand keeps falling onto the wood from our air bar at the back, and it's creating a really nice natural scape. And as these fish get bigger, the colours are going to pop and they're going to really stand out against the substrate. Now they are quite blended in at the moment, so it probably doesn't look great on camera, but in person it's absolutely awesome, and I cannot wait to see these guys get a little bit bigger. Now I just put a picture on the screen of what a P14 stingray looks like, and also what a black diamond stingray looks like. Now obviously these guys have originally come from a wild variant of Leopoldi rays, which have ever so slightly different markings, but they've still got that standout black and white coloration. You can see a cloud of sand appearing as one of the rays moves some of the sand at the back of the aquarium, and this is a very common occurrence in the tank, but I really enjoy watching them with their natural behaviours. So I've got the P14 and the black diamond on the screen for you to see, and that is actually what has been crossed together to get these two rays. Now the two new rays, I would say they've got that black background, and their spotting is, well, one is sort of a tan brown colour and the other is more of a creamy brown colour. And over the next 6 to 12 months, these colorations are going to change. The spotting's slightly going to change. The spots are probably going to get bigger. Some might start to break up, and it's going to be interesting to see how these guys look and how they change over that time period. And I'm obviously going to be documenting that on Instagram as well, and TikTok. The links are all down below for my other social media profiles. But I think that's enough talking on these guys. Let's get some food in them and let's see how they feed, and we can start to watch all of the rays interact. Now obviously they don't have any names yet. I'm gonna need some name suggestions, so if you do have any name suggestions for any of the fish within the aquarium, please leave those down below. Our arowana is doing super well, putting some really good size on and getting some really nice gold coloration to the scales. But let me go and grab some mussels or some prawns. We'll get them chopped up, defrosted, and then we can get them in the tank and get their first feed underway. As you can see in this dish here, I've got some chopped up mussels. I'm just going to turn the flow off on the aquarium just so the food settles down to the bottom. Alexa, turn off the flow. And you'll probably see how aggressively the arowana will take this food when he comes round. But he is super fast. He's always looking for food. He is super hungry. So let's check out the rays. So up first we've got the albino pearl. Hopefully you can see him there. And then we've got one of the new hybrid rays, the P14 Black Diamond cross there. And then this guy absolutely loves taking the food. He hogs all of the food. This guy, he's getting really, really chunky now. He's definitely put on some size. And hopefully the other rays are going to come over in a minute. Now, obviously the P14 Black Diamond hybrids have just been added to the tank. So they're a little bit shy at the moment, but I'm sure they're going to come round. I can just see one sitting in the sand here. He's just awoken, so hopefully he'll come and join the pack and have a nice meal with them. But here's the mini marble Motoro. I've definitely noticed this guy putting on a little bit of size, but he's definitely much slower growing in comparison to the albino pearl, that's for sure. So here's one of the new residents, slightly bigger than the albino pearl, just for reference, just to keep on track on how these guys grow and how they get on. But I really love watching these guys feed. They're doing super, super well. As you can see, the arowana up here. Sometimes he takes a bit of food off the bottom, but he is a real greedy guts. And there's the stingrays taking a bit of mussel. So generally I feed these guys mussels and prawns. That's pretty much what they get. I would like to start introducing some different fish maybe as well into their diet, but I've had success with this in the past with this diet, and I'm sure I'm going to have success with it in this tank. But overall, they're doing really well. As you can see, these guys have so much space, so much floor space in this aquarium. But I'm going to obviously remove some of these stones as they start to get bigger and they need more space. But we've got a 3-foot depth front to back, and then we've got 8 feet in length. So they've got a really nice floor space. I'll just do a little close-up of them there. There's all 5 rays together. All getting along really, really well, and I'm really happy with how these new guys have settled in. And that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the new fish enter the Monster Fish Mega Tank. I'm really, really excited to see how these guys grow and get on and just develop over time. Now, what other fish do you think I should put into this aquarium? I do have 1 or 2 in mind. I really don't want to add many more fish. I'm thinking 1, 2 fish maximum, because we're going to get a big bioload coming from these fish as they grow and as they get bigger. And I need to make sure the filtration system and the water change routine can handle that. But leave some suggestions down below on what other fish you think I should consider for the Monster Fish Mega Tank, and also what names you would give to the fish we've got. We've got 5 stingrays and 1 arowana currently. But that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.